Those who dwell on the artificial moon, the moon, according to some claims, is artificial and arrived with refugees, extraterrestrials from a destroyed planet in the asteroid belt. According to Secret Space Program whistleblower Corey Goode, there was once a super Earth in the asteroid belt with humanoid giants who were involved in a devastating galactic war that destroyed their planet. And Goode claims on last episode of Apocalypse Now that many of the giants escaped the destruction via one of their artificial moons, which was sent into orbit around Earth about 500,000 years ago. And Goode says that the smart glass pads he read during his 20-year service with various secret space programs between 1987 and 2007 provided two explanations for the artificial nature of the moon. One was that it was a hollow natural moon, and the second was that it was a giant orbiting space station. And Goode then goes on to say that waves of refugees from super-Earth began arriving on Earth during various stages during the period overcoming the destruction of the former planet. One of these waves was associated with the arrival of the moon, which was filled with refugees, and upon their arrival on Earth, these refugees created armed conflicts with the advanced indigenous groups of people who had previously escaped into the interior of the Earth from cataclysms and were helping the survivors on the surface rebuild a society. In previous episodes, Goode said that these breakaway groups of the inner Earth already date back 18 million years, inhabiting vast caves as large as the U.S. state of Texas, and possess advanced spacecraft. Additionally, different alien groups had established colonies on the Earth's surface where long-term genetic experiments had begun. 22, according to Goode and contactee Alex Collier, and the arrival of the different alien groups and the genetic manipulation of surface humans had previously created conflict between the cultures of the Earth's interior and the extraterrestrial alien-human hybrid colonies on the surface. And the arrival of the moon with refugees possessing advanced technologies threatened to disrupt the delicate balance of power that had been achieved on Earth between the inner Earth and the surface civilizations. There were subsequent military battles between the Hollow Earth civilizations, extraterrestrial visitors, and the over-Earth refugees on the moon, according to Goode. Evidence of these ancient battles on the moon can be seen today in the form of the remains of giant crystal domes, massive towers, and square structures, which Goode himself witnessed directly while flying over the lunar surface, he claims. Support for Goode's astonishing claims comes from the research of Richard Hoagland, who has conducted extensive digital analysis of many NASA lunar images, which he included revealing the remains of giant glass and crystal structures all over the moon. And Goode's incredible claims about the history of the moon are part of a double-part series of Cosmic Disclosure episodes about a super-Earth that once orbited the Sun in the asteroid belt. In the previous episode, they discussed how Mars was also once a moon orbiting the super-Earth. Mars at the time had enough water and oxygen-rich atmosphere to support a large population at its surface. This is exactly what Thoth Hermes Trismegistus the Atlantean claims, that Mars once had an Earth-like atmosphere. And you can hear that on the Emerald Tablets playlist I have for you, my playlists. Now, the events that led to the destruction of the super-Earth also wiped out much of the Martian surface population and stripped away most of its atmosphere, according to what Goode read in the smart glass notebooks. The force of the super-Earth's destruction propelled Mars into its current planetary orbit. Goode and Wilcock discussion on the destruction of super-Earth reveals surprising historical facts that are very useful for understanding our true galactic history. So was there a super-Earth that was destroyed in a titanic battle, which resulted in one of its moons being sent into orbit around Earth, and another being sent into its present orbit as the planet Mars? The first major scientist to seriously investigate the possibility that the asteroid belt is the remains of a former planet was Dr. Thomas van Flandern, who was the chief astronomer at the U.S. Naval Observatory. He wrote many scientific papers on what is described as the exploded planet hypothesis, which proposed that many major asteroid belts in our solar system resulted from the destruction of planets stretching all the way back to the beginning of the solar system. Putting all this evidence together, we have strong hints of two protoplanets near what is now the main asteroid belt, the hypothetical planet V and planet K. These were probably giant gas planets with moons of significant size, like Mars, before they exploded. We have hints of two main asteroid belts, probably the explosions of the two planets, planet X and planet T, beyond Neptune. And we have hints of two very large giant gas planets, planet A and planet B, that exploded earlier near the beginning of the solar system. Van Flanders' clarification regarding his proposal that Mars was once a moon of a destroyed planet in the asteroid belt says, "The above summarizes evidence that Mars was not a protoplanet, but rather a moon of a now destroyed planet, occupying this orbital approach. Many of these features are the expected consequences of a massive planet exploding at close range, blasting away its opposite hemisphere and leaving the protected hemisphere relatively unscathed. Particularly significant in this regard is the fact that half of Mars is heavily cratered and the other half is only sparsely cratered. Furthermore, the crust has apparently increased in thickness over one hemisphere to about 20 kilometers and gradually thins near the hemisphere boundaries." Van Flanders' destroyed planet hypothesis provides scientific support for Good's claims that both the Moon and Mars are former moons of the super-Earth. If Good is correct, then before the arrival of the Moon about 500,000 years ago, and we do have ancient Greek texts saying that the Proselines were on Earth before the Moon was in the sky above Earth. So if Good is correct, then before the arrival of the Moon about 500,000 years ago, the Earth did not have a moon. Indeed, there is a historical evidence that the Moon was a late arrival on Earth. Immanuel Velikovsky has found many historical accounts of pre-lunar civilizations on Earth, some of which he describes as follows. "The period when the Earth was without a moon is perhaps the most remote memory of mankind. Democritus and Anaxagoras of ancient Greece taught that there was a time when the Earth was without a moon. Aristotle, who happened to be Alexander the Great's tutor as well, Aristotle wrote that Arcadia in Greece, before it was inhabited by the Greeks, was inhabited by the Pelasgians, and that these natives occupied the land even before there was a moon in the sky above Earth, for which reason they were called Proselines. Selene is the name of the moon in Greek. Apollonius of Rhodes mentions a time when all the spheres were not yet in the heavens, before the tribes of Dan and Deucalion, meaning Noah, came into being, and only the Arcadians lived, of whom it is said that they dwelt in the mountains and fed on acorns before there was a moon. Plutarch wrote in the Roman Questions, there were Arcadian followers of Evander, the so-called prelunar people. Good's revelation about a super-Earth and the cataclysmic events surrounding its destruction are shocking if they are accurate, as is Dr. Van Flanders' research with additional independent evidence to date. Then Good has opened the door to a better understanding of the true history of our Earth, Moon, and Mars, and the solar system at large. Good and Wilcox's Cosmic Disclosure series continues to amaze and enlighten as they reveal many aspects of galactic history discovered by secret space programs, which for the first time allow much of the information to be released to the general public through Good and other informants. And this is from Exopolitics. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.